It's Sunday 13th of June 2021. I'm out running along the shore just outside of The Hague. I'm actually on the south harbour wall of Scheveningen harbour, which is quite a well-known fishing port in the Netherlands, if not just because it kind of forms part of the Hague conurbation. And the story goes, in the Second World War, the pronunciation of, and I'll always get it wrong, I'm always corrected by my Dutch friends, the pronunciation of Scheveningen was used as a test to weed out German spies. I don't know if that was true, but that's the story. So there's a surface out there. Might just be able to make out all the ships winding out their time, presumably before going into Rotterdam Harbour, just past to the right of the green lighthouse there. So anyway, I'm going to run along the dunes. Probably know this one if you've seen my videos before. Up to Kite Down. I've come out early to avoid the heat today, due to get into the low to mid 20s. It's been quite humid recently, although it seems very fresh today. So we shall see. Then we come around the lighthouse with the fishermen. I'm just going to head back. There you can see Scheveningen in the sunshine. There's the harbour area, and there's up towards Katwijk. So I've reached the pretty much the highest point in this part of the dunes. So there's Kite Down over there, and then over there is Scheveningen, and there's The Hague with the Five Sisters, if you can count them, the 5 tall buildings. So I was almost getting to Kite Down, but I'm going to take a turn around. I'm probably going to do 10k today. It's getting pretty warm now, and I don't want to overdo it because my knee's still recovering. So just quick update on the pandemic here in the Netherlands and compare it with the UK. So as I've reported in the last couple of weeks, the Dutch stuff's come down. They've gone through 2 stages of easing. So as of last weekend, you could go out to a restaurant outside still and meet with 4 of you, or a family group that's larger, but there's only 4, so in other words you and 3 other people, and you can stay till 10 o'clock in the evening, which is rather nice, because previous week when we'd gone on a bit of holiday in Limburg, we'd had to leave the restaurant, paid up, cleared away and everything by 8 o'clock. So it was rather early for me. I don't know about everybody else. That's 8 o'clock. Sorry, that's normally when I start thinking about dinner. So the situation now is the cases have continued to come down in the Netherlands. So they're at about just below 9 per 100,000 on average for the past week. And that compares with the UK, which is pretty much on the same number. The difference in the UK is that's going up, and it's going up primarily, it would appear, due to the Delta variant, the one that was first observed in India, first recorded in India. So that's going up, but it's in very localized areas. So I think I've said before, in the Blackburn area, Greater Manchester, north of Greater Manchester, bit in Glasgow, although that's spreading across a bit. Glasgow looks a little better, starting to improve. And in West London, Bedford, just to the north of London. But again, those figures aren't looking so bad. And Leicester, which has come down quite a bit, it would appear. So there's hope for optimism. It came down slightly yesterday, although it was a Saturday, which is always a difficult day to judge from a recording point of view. It reached over 8,000 cases on Friday. So if that were to continue, it would definitely go well in excess of what the Dutch rate is. And the Dutch have had one of the higher rates recently, because during lockdown since December we had a huge third wave. In fact, you could even count it as a 4th wave. It was so big and prolonged, it was probably more people infected in that wave than have been infected, certainly probably since last year when it all started in March of 2020. So that's the situation. Easing, was going to be an announcement tomorrow in the UK to go to the full easing. I mean, they're pretty eased up there, you know, there's a lot more freedoms there than there are here at the moment, but all the warning signs, there's too much in the media. They've obviously been briefed by lots of government officials, unofficial and official, to basically say brace yourself for the fact that we might actually postpone easing from the 21st of June for up to 4 weeks. That might also coincide with easing in the US after the 4th of July holiday. It's speculated that maybe the 5th of July be a bit of easing, which would allow international travel. So there's a G7 conference at the moment in Cornwall in southwest England, and there seems to be a lot of potential agreements there about reciprocal arrangements to allow much easier freedom of international travel. And I think what we're hoping for is that what's happened in the EU, which is where they have this, it's now called the the digital COVID certificate, that will start from the 1st of July, means that if you're vaccinated or have a negative PCR test or you've been previously infected, then you should pretty much have freedom of movement within the EU between countries, which hasn't been the case at the moment. Some countries have done that ahead of time. But that means, you know, for example, in France at the moment, as of last Tuesday, you can go into France from here. Once I get my second vaccine, which isn't far away now, I'd be able to go into France, not have to quarantine. I'd have to deliver a negative PCR test as well, but as of the 1st of July, that would just be that the fact I've got my vaccine certificate, I'd be fine. So anyway, that's the situation at the moment in Europe, and I'm hoping those sorts of agreements will get reciprocated by the UK, US, and of course other countries around the world as well, providing we're all pretty convinced things that keep us safe once we've been vaccinated, and that does certainly still seem to be the case. Anyway, lovely sunny day. It's a little bit hot, but it's not as hot as it was last weekend when I was in Limburg. It got up to 28. Anyway, so this is the highest point. This is as high as it gets around here, I'm afraid. Well, that's nice, having a bit of tree cover. I'm just about to come into an open stretch now. So, one thing I've noticed since getting back to The Hague, whenever I travel and run, I'm always interested in how friendly people are. It's what I call the hello quotient. So it's when you say hello to somebody, either running, walking, cycling, and how many replies you get back, or what proportion of replies. So on the edge of a city like this, I think 10% is pretty normal, up to 25% if you have a good day. Well, one thing I noticed with Limburg was it's close to 100%, and to be honest, most of that wasn't on my initiation as well either, whereas here you can get a reply out of somebody, but you really have to say hello, or good morning, how you doing. So it's interesting, it took me back to what I always seem to, I think what everybody observes, the countryside, rural areas tend to be a little bit more friendly, or at least the outward appearance of being friendly by saying hello and greeting everybody. So I'm almost back now, just running through the Westduinpark back towards The Hague. I'll cross tram tracks in a minute and go across the Bosjes van Poot. Looking out for the Highland cattle. They'll be a bit hot in this weather, but they're normally in this area somewhere. So I just come across a group of people exercising. There's more groups starting to appear now, as you can do that as long as it's part of an organised, or younger people can do that. So it's just quite nice to see out in the dunes. It's lots of space out here. This is my typical little back paths, a little bit hilly and very soft sand, so it gives me the apparent workout of hills back home, even if they're not very steep. soft sand certainly takes the energy out of your legs. So I'm really pleased with my injury progress. I think I've talked about it before. In October I twisted my knee really badly, couldn't walk for about or longer than a week, and even up until a month ago, the trail back there, which has got undulating little hills, I couldn't run either up or down hill, but now I can. It's moderate, but fairly light pace as I'm doing now, but the fact is I can do that and I'm not dreading it because I'm not feeling that sense of pain coming on in my knees, particularly on the inner knee. I got scared the other day. I thought, oh no, it's coming back, and then I checked out what was going on. I must have bashed my knee at some point. It's got a dirty great bruise on it, so that would explain it. So hopefully that's nothing internal. Again, that's something on the outside. So anyway, I'm really pleased with my progress, but I had to take it really easy. That's pretty much 8 months of recovery from that injury, and I've still got a way to go because I'm nowhere near the fitness I was. I mean, my VO2 maxes, according to my watch anyway, as accurate as they are, at least a relative gauge, have been around about 46. I've got as high as 48, and the VO2 max basically gives you a relative measure of, I guess, your fitness, but it's really in terms of the amount of effort you're putting in, how much oxygen you're absorbing into your tissue. So it's an estimate. But when I was doing the marathons, I was up to 52, which I think at my age is pretty good. So anyway, getting my fitness back. Big thing is being able to do these more modest runs without feeling any pain. And now I've just got to take it easy. I'm doing lots of strengthening exercise, lots of yoga every day, lots of hip, knee flexes, that sort of thing, just to work up greater kind of support of my joints. Here we are, almost back now, almost back to the tram line. Lots of people out walking and running and exercising. So there we go. Hey. So here I'm back in Downdorp. So that's where we live, somewhere in that mess of houses. There's the church, and out to the sea. Just had a near miss with a dog. So there's a big dog walking area around here, and unfortunately, although they're supposed to keep them on leads, most of the time the dogs are well behaved, and I don't mind, have a problem with not them being on the leads like that, but it's when they're misbehaving. And this one came chasing, wheeling around, chasing after me, snapping at my heels. I mean, the moment I stopped, put my hand out, then he stopped as well, but just carried on yapping. No apologies at all from the owners, and this is the problem I find around here. I've been bitten by a dog before, and not a single apology came from the owner. It's almost like, oh, it's a dog, it's like I have no, it's nothing to do with me. It's almost an embarrassment. So that needs to improve. But as Barbara Woodhouse always say, if your dog's not behaving, 2 words: choke chain. Sounds cruel, but some of these dogs have got to be brought under control, otherwise they're going to bite a child one day. Anyway, that's my public information message. A little bit in the height of emotion at the moment, but anyway, lovely day, but time to get home and cool down now, I think.